On that
Or
note,
maybe they just had enough money to buy all the, you know.
They bought Mumbai City FC. I'm happy.
Are you
okay,
serious?
we
They did.
yeah, it's part
अरे
of the
इसको मौका दो, ये मुंबई इंडियंस लाएगा, मुंबई सिटी एफसी लाएगा, जसप्रीत बुमराह लाएगा. अरे भैंसो तू उधर ही मर. ठीक है, चलो जीत गया, अभी लीव इट नाउ.
No, I'm talking about Mumbai City FC.
This
The
is
IPL's
this
done.
is 2 meters away from coming to Mumbai Indians. No,
IPL's done.
okay, चलो जाने दे.
I'm not
okay.
bringing Mumbai Indians. This guy brought in Mumbai Indians. I brought in Mumbai City.
yes.
I saw the video.
on
So
that
to the people who are watching this podcast, just in case if this gets in this makes the cut, I saw the previous W Express Sports ka thing. Those people were bringing to KKR. Those people were bringing KKR into discussion for absolutely no reason at all. You could be talking about people farting and they'll bring Dinesh Karthik into it, and that's what he was doing in the first video.
Oh, God.
Bringing Mumbai Indians into discussion.
Oh, Lord.
I think that's a good note.
Yeah.
A cheap plug on our own channel for our own video. Welcome
To the 300
everyone.
videos.
Welcome to the four of you, and welcome to whosoever is watching.
Another four.
A very warm welcome, and to all of you in India, which essentially is our entire subscriber base. A very happy Diwali. Very happy Diwali to
Guys,
you guys.
come on now. We are reaching 1K view a video. Let's follow that.
We haven't touched one.
We are reaching there. We are reaching.
Truth bombs. Too many truth
It's
bombs
fine.
on the channel right now, boys. So I have the usual crew with me. I've got a full house of Sushil, Vijay, Anurag, and Prathamesh with me here. A very warm welcome, as I said.
We have got a perfect blend of Hyderabad and Delhi today.
Yes.
And Cochin, bro.
And Cochin. Oh,
And
sorry.
Cochin.
Yeah. Almost forget there is another city.
So
Pathetic.
that's the Hyderabad, the Delhi dominance that or the channel that has the channel is
And the
under
Manchester United dominance, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Coming back to Manchester United. I don't know. This is going to be a podcast. We're going to freewheel here. We're just going to come up with chats. We're just discussing something about Salah not being a diver, but actually, being actually
A dancer.
Oh, he's a
dancer.
he's a very good dancer.
I was going to say a very gracious and graceful dancer, but yeah, that.
And
video
also a complete idiot. But we'll come to that.
Yeah,
My
Salah is a
dog dances
ballet
better.
dancer. Bruno Fernandes is an achanya. That's the common
God.
perception. Yeah, that's fine.
My dog's
we
dance
get
better,
that.
dude.
What I love about the Salah dance video is that there are three angles. One where he dances with the full mask on, then with the nose uncovered, and then fuck it, Now is when I realized,
Oh,
this has been
God.
impeding my dance moves. Jackass.
Oh, but apparently Egypt national account who actually put the national football team account who put that Mohamed Salah, had tested positive. They've actually removed that tweet for God knows what.
Yeah, I think what they're going to do is they are going to do what happened with Vida and what happened with the Irish player the other day. Half time
Yeah.
the khilayenge so that the opponent also gets COVID.
like how much more stupid can that be? Like a Croatian international, like Croatia. I don't know how forward or backward a country that is, but I mean, come on, man.
No,
Pretty
just to
well-to-do
clarify,
country.
are these games that are being played
Friendlies.
related to some tournament or just
They're friendlies.
idiotic
They're
friendlies?
friendlies.
So
Some are
first
going
match-
on, some are for Euro.
So I'll add in my 2 cents here.
Yeah.
The first round of matches that happened for almost all national teams, at least in Europe. I'm not entirely sure for
Unless for the
Canada,
Euro
Africa.
qualifiers. If not
So-
for the Euro qualifiers.
Yeah, only a very few minute
Four
of
matches.
them. I guess 4 matches. Yeah, only 4 of them were qualifiers. Everything else was a friendly. And now you just have
Hungary
friendlies.
and Scotland have officially
And now-
qualified.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And now, as far as I know, you only have friendlies because you've got Portugal and France, right?
No, you have the
Portugal,
Nations
France,
League.
and Germany.
What do you have?
What are you talking about?
Nations League. We have the Nations
Oh
League again now.
you have that. You have that. Oh,
2
sorry.
rounds of Nation League matches.
Yeah. So
Who gives a
basically,
shit about nations? League?
exactly. You have that tournament that no one wants to really care about.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Basically,
pretty much.
Nations League, and they're worse than friendlies for all that. I just know that there's this fixture France Portugal tomorrow, so that's the only football I'm watching over these 2 weeks. So coming about football, boys, we've spoken about Salah just for our viewers. Salah tested positive for COVID, and it's pretty likely
Get well soon, bro.
he'll miss at least
Don't do that shit again.
at least 4 matches for Liverpool. It could be more depending on the recovery.
Don't dance, dude. Don't
Don't think
never
it'll be
dance again.
4.
It'll be 4.
Yeah.
So the thing is, I'll tell you. If you've tested positive, it's not just that you're a contact tracer, right? So if you've tested positive, you go through the whole routine of first of all 14-day isolation. Then you have to take 3 consecutive tests. All of them have to turn negative.
Correct.
For a player like Paul Pogba, it took a month and a half. The entire process.
Yeah, but
so
typically
from
it
him,
takes
Pep-
much less time.
No. It
Takes
doesn't.
2 to 3
It
weeks.
hasn't. Yeah.
It hasn't. For Alex Telles, it has taken an almost entire month, and he's still
But
under
out.
review.
Yeah.
So Shield's
So-
mind is going FPL now.
So yeah.
No, I already took him out of my team
Sushil's
1
mind
hour
is
ago.
So yeah, for all
who is going to
FPL
play in
players,
the Liverpool
for
team now?
all FPL players do definitely remove Salah
Hmm.
from your team, at least for the next 3 game weeks, maybe 4.
Yeah, I think 3 is probably right. Yeah.
But you do realize, Sushil, in those 3 game weeks, you'll have 3 Champions League matches as well. So there
I'm
are
not
6
too
matches.
worried about the Champions League, to be honest, because
I
we
mean,
already
I'm-
have.
I was
yeah.
talking about the quantum.
We already have
Yeah, yeah.
defensive issues we're not going to recover from.
Yeah.
so-
No, the good thing is,
This
the
a
good
nice
thing
side
is,
step into Liverpool. What are your
Yeah.
thoughts, Sushil? I'll come to you straightly.
yeah. I mean,
Thoughts on Joe Gomez, Trent, with joining Virgil. I think Trent is more like a month issue.
bro, I think we should just play the under 16
Anfield
for
has
the
become
rest of
ambulance
the.
field now. Yeah.
Bro,
I swear.
but Joe Gomez
mean-
is out for the season as far as I know, because
Yeah, I
as
think
far as I
that
know,
seems likely.
he's
I don't think
unlikely for the Euros as well.
I don't
Oh.
think it's as serious an issue as Van Dijk's, but
Recovery is long.
yeah, I think it's probably going to be most, if not all, of the season.
I read
yeah.
that he had his operation yesterday.
Yeah, he did. So I'm guessing he's going to be out for the season too.
Just to clarify, this
so-
was an injury not caused by any other player, by himself or something, right?
Yeah, I think he was during training basically.
Oh, that's
Um,
really bad.
So during
There's no
training for a
Pickford to blame
completely
too.
pointless, for a completely pointless friendly. Honestly, I'll come back to what I said at the start of the season. The number of fixtures that these
Yeah,
guys
Yeah,
have to
you're right.
play
You're right.
is
It's just
obscene.
ridiculous.
And
That
Uber
is-
se-
Yeah. Go ahead,
But
Patwish.
there's England-Ireland game, right?
Yeah, I mean, who gives a fuck which
put-
game it is?
Yeah, exactly. No, the Ireland put a COVID positive player on the pitch. Is that the rivalry between England and Ireland that they had to put a COVID player in there? कि साले हारे तो भी चलेगा एक का एक opposite को
Dude,
positive करके
Another
छोड़ेगा.
thing,
Honestly-
another thing, Maguire and Sancho scored in that game, which is like a slap to every United fan.
Oh, it's
But
a slap.
I'll tell you what.
It's
I'll tell you
slap to
what.
every good club in Europe, in England, right? Like, I guess whoever from United, Liverpool, Chelsea, Man City, if the Man City have English players, yeah, they do. Sorry. So,
Raheem Sterling.
Raheem Sterling. So Raheem Sterling might have gone.
And
Harry Kane.
Mason Greenwood's friend.
And Mason Greenwood's friend went. Oh, sorry.
No, I mean, just
Yeah.
coming back to the point, which is, it seems absurd to me that, you're trying to build this bio bubble, right, to see out the
Yeah,
tournament.
I agree.
So,
I
like,
agree.
look at other sports, right? NBA,
I'm
they
talking
just
about
play their games.
Look at cricket.
Look at cricket, yeah. So look at these other sports in the way.
Indian players. Sorry to cut you off, Sushil.
Yeah,
Indian
yeah.
players have traveled straight away from the UAE.
UAE to Australia,
Australia.
with families.
With families, and all of them have to take COVID tests. If they test
Right.
negative, they can reform their bio bubble and stay there, practice with each other. And
Correct.
but they have to quarantine for 14 days, but they can
Yeah.
practice in those 14 days. So they do not lose form, they do not lose fitness, they take care of their jet lag and everything else. And beyond within that bubble, at least life goes as normal. Whereas international football, you have few people coming from all corners of the globe. It's ridiculous.
It's nuts, dude. I mean, the ridiculous part is, like you were talking about cricket, how there's this 14-day quarantine period. It's impossible. You have games every 3 or 4 days,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And I'll tell you, for the Liverpool squad at least, this season, Thiago's gotten COVID, Mane's gotten COVID, Salah's gotten COVID now. I mean, this is what I said at the start of the season. People who have deeper squads, teams that have deeper squads, they have to not just consider the injuries, right?
They're not
You also have
infinite,
this
though.
whole thing. We also have this whole thing with COVID now, right?
Yeah.
You can have players who've been completely fit just not be able to play for 3 or 4 games because of COVID. And
Maybe
like
more,
I said,
bro, because
yeah,
different bodies react differently to COVID. So it could
Correct.
be for one person, it could
So-
be an asymptomatic reaction for the other.
so yeah, I mean, that's about Salah. About the defense, you're right. This is very worrisome, right? Earlier it was just Van Dijk. But now it's basically our entire defense. We have Matip and Robbo, who are the only first team
I think
defenders left.
you can count Fabinho as an auxiliary defender. I think the most capable
Fabinho is
defender.
probably going to be out. I think he'll probably play this weekend. Unlikely, but let's see.
And they also
But
have Neko Williams,
definitely
right?
the weekend after that. Yeah, but I mean, the fact of the matter is those guys are sort of backup, right? You expect them to play
Yeah,
once in a while, and now they're
Yeah,
thrust
they have to
into
play
the
more
squad
regularly.
for
yeah.
yeah. So
I expect you guys to line up with like Milner, Fabinho,
yeah, I'd say so.
Just a
Matip,
just
and
a
Robbo.
Yeah, yeah.
logical
Sorry.
follow-up. So
Hmm.
do you think with like worst case scenario, all these people are out, Liverpool change their style of play?
They've already changed their style of play to some extent. If you look at the last few games they played since Van Dijk went out, obviously this is not taking into account the fact that Trent's not going to be there now. Gomez
Yeah.
is not going to be there. They've been playing with the low block, something that they didn't do as often earlier. If you see when they lose possession of the ball, while their pressing has been pretty much the same with the front three,
Yeah.
as you move deeper into the squad, they've reduced their pressing. It's more
Yeah.
of the traditional defending approach. So they've already made those adjustments. Now, with these injuries, you're probably going to see, more of a preference for that style of defending now. So
Yeah,
yeah, I mean,
what you people would call Ole ball, right?
I don't know if I'd call it
I
that,
think
but
they'll
the
win.
fact,
Ole has no balls yet. Let's
yeah, but
let's not get
yeah,
there. Yeah.
just to put the bow on Liverpool and wrap up the discussion around them. I think in terms of attack, the Salah thing shouldn't be as big of a problem because you do
I
still
think
have Jota,
Jota.
Firmino, and Mane. Yeah, so I think and Shaqiri's been decent when he's come off the
Yeah,
bench.
bro,
So
that
Scored a free
pass,
kick.
bro, that
yeah,
pass at the
yeah.
end, dude, that's
Yeah.
unbelievable.
So I think we have depth up front. Thiago is going to be back in the squad this week, so that's going to really help us in the build-up play. The defense is where things are a little flimsy, and the next game's against Leicester, so it might be a little tricky up against
Yeah,
Vardy. But
yeah.
but we'll see. I think as a
It's at
Liverpool
home,
fan,
right? It's at home.
yeah, it's at home.
Leicester have a
But I think
perfect
as
away
a
record.
and I'll tell you what, I think now the approach is just going to be, outscore the opponent. That's what they're
Yeah,
going to try to do every game, and I
Yeah,
think that's probably
didn't
what they
Klopp
should
say
do.
at the early, I mean, at the start of the season, he did say we are going to attack the title, not
attack
defend.
the title, not
Yeah,
defend it.
so I
Yeah,
think he has no other option now.
yeah. I see. To all you guys, I don't want to be
First
a
mute कर
negative.
रहा है.
Yeah, I don't want to be a negative guy here, but is it going to take FIFA or UEFA or any of those bodies one player having serious issues due to COVID, or unfortunately going
Losing
away
their
due to
life.
COVID, losing their life due to COVID, to realize we need to stop this Nations League right now? I mean, what the hell is that bullshit? There are so many levels, so many different things. No one cares who wins the UEFA Nations League. Like it's hardly like it's not even being
Portugal won
branded
it.
properly. It's
Like
not even being
Portugal won
branded.
it.
Yeah,
I'm sure they might show it off as an international trophy.
As a Ronaldo
But
fan, I'll never bring that as an achievement
yeah,
Yeah,
to
man, like
diplomacy debate. Yeah.
it's the Euros that mattered, right? They won the
Yeah.
Euros. That mattered. This
that mattered.
what is this?
What?
Like, why
Why
have you
would you
made
want?
qualification into a tournament? Like, I don't get this.
And the worst part is you want to play international friendlies. I mean,
No,
for
so
what joy?
Pratnesh, the reasoning from UEFA around this, we're not talking about other conferences though. Every other continental conference, as far as I know, is doing the same thing. They're playing three matches during this international break.
But then
Which
why do you want to have
why are you
friendlies?
doing this? No, again, why are you doing this? The thing is that I remember reading before the new season. Yeah, I know the money. Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, broadcasting,
I think we spoke about cricket, but you can look at tennis, you can look at other sports, you can look at F1,
Formula
how
One.
they've
Yeah,
restricted races on the same racetrack over and over and over, how they have restricted tournaments at the same city, over and over and over. In the US swing before the US Open, they played 4 tournaments, right, in 2 locations. So you had City X tournament 1, City X tournament 2 in 2 weeks. So players played back to back tournaments, and then
yep.
City Y, and then tournament 1 and 2, and then you had the US Open. Same
It's
thing
absurd,
they did.
dude.
It's ridiculous.
Same thing they did for the clay court swing before the French Open. Same
You know,
thing they've
it's the
done now.
ultimate. Yeah.
I know. Sofia and Vienna had 2 tournaments back to back.
Yeah.
The recent one when Djokovic and Nadal both lost, if you remember.
Yeah.
Same
You know,
thing.
I was
And now they're having the finals in London. That's it. The finishing of the
just
season.
just the point you were bringing up earlier. I was listening to a podcast recently in which I think it was James Horncastle or Julian Laurent who was bringing up the fact that Lazio was apparently using really
Yeah.
flimsy testing on their players.
Yeah.
So the tests weren't as reliable, and so although the players were coming out as negative, they'd end up playing anyway, and they could have been positive that whole time. And then I think
They
there was an
were,
audit that happened.
Some of them were, yeah.
4 players positive.
I think more than half of their squad is positive.
Yeah.
Even right
You know,
now.
the ultimate oxymoron from this morons is they call it the international break. I don't know how
Yeah,
is it a
man.
break.
Yeah. I mean, what happened to Lazio? Did Andres Pereira had some bad influence on them in terms of quality everywhere?
Buddy.
I
he
mean,
scored- he
Lazio's
scored-
always
as far as
Lazio
at
gives
least
their test
he-
results as COVID Aladdin.
Aladdin.
I mean, I understand Lazio is the
Alright.
ultimate club who wanted to sign David Silva, ended up with Andreas Pereira. I know they had a huge quality drop in the transfer market. That doesn't mean overall you do that quality drop, right?
So
I mean,
has anyone seen the Borat 2 movie?
I have
No, we saw
subsequent
Salah. We saw
movie
Salah
film.
doing that. We saw Salah doing that. That was enough.
Yes, sir. He was doing the Borat dance. Just for the two of you guys, how was it? I mean, I don't mind if we waste a couple of minutes on that.
Vijay.
How was the, no, forget it. How was the Giuliani part?
Oh yeah.
Oh, dude. Oh, dude.
I mean, that's the
I
one
mean-
part of the movie where I actually wish I forgot that. You know, that's just.
Dude.
You have to understand, I'm saying this after the first movie involved two naked guys, face to
Yeah.
anus contact. I rather watch that than, watch Giuliani touch himself. It's just nonsense.
For those of
I get
you,
I
Thank
could
God I
not
didn't
get in the
watch it.
context, but I think
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's
you
what
don't
it is.
watch
so
that
I'll
context.
explain.
That's the
I'll
Just
explain.
for context,
I'll explain.
Rudy Giuliani is the personal attorney to the President of the United States.
Oh,
Yes.
Okay.
So he's
And-
like,
and the
you're
former-
talking a potential president candidate touching himself. That's gross.
yeah,
even
he
if-
did run for president once. Yeah.
He did, and he used to be a popular mayor in
Yeah,
in
he
in
was
New
the
York.
mayor during 9/11.
9/11, yeah.
Oh.
That's
Yes. So
Is
he's
this a
in a
real story?
movie with a journalist, with his hands in his pant around the crotch area, and this has been recorded, and it's in the movie.
Gross.
So yeah.
And
Talking
to
about
the lawyer
US,
faction, he
Oh.
said, "I was just folding my, untucking my shirt."
Yeah,
Sure,
yeah,
that's
totally.
exactly when you should do that. Yes.
Exactly. I was watching a Netflix US TV show called The Ranch recently.
Yeah.
About
I've seen
Ashton
it.
Kutcher.
It has a
Ashton
70s show cast, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ashton
Ashton
Kutcher
Kutcher
and-
and Danny Morrison.
Yeah.
Oh, what's his name? No.
Yeah,
not
I think
Danny
I watched 2 seasons
Getting
because
it.
I felt it was
Hyde.
decent,
Hyde,
Hyde
yeah,
was,
Stephen
yeah.
Hyde. Yeah, Stephen
I don't know
Hyde.
his full name.
Getting his
Real
real
name, yeah.
Sorry,
I
yeah.
liked the show.
And he was kicked out, by the way. He was kicked out of the show
Again,
because of.
sexual allegations, sexual assault
Oh.
allegations.
Yeah.
Oh, that's crazy.
Hmm.
But the show was nice, I watched
Yeah, it
two,
is nice.
two
It is nice.
seasons. Like I'm not finished 2 seasons yet, but it's nice.
Matlab, I know it's a random conversation.
But this is too random.
It's a too
Yes,
random.
Random.
For
Yeah.
all the viewers that we've
No, on
had
that
If it's
note,
that random, the
he
crown is
almost-
coming day after. The crown is
Come-
coming day after.
No, I have a nice segue. Almost finished 2 seasons, and it was nice. Speaking about Ole Gunnar Solskjaer,
Dude, let's talk about Ole, please.
Brilliant.
There
Please.
is no
Can
other
I just,
segue.
can I just, for
This
our
has to be a
viewers who's
trailer. This has to be a
hold up,
trailer.
hold up. I have to make this point. For those who've been listening to this podcast since the start of the season, I'm sure you're aware
Literally no one.
how Anurag, Pratmesh, and Kushagra's mood has been basically a sine wave when it comes to Ole all throughout the season.
Yeah.
1 week it's like, dude, he's like Alex Ferguson's second coming.
I never
No,
said
he-
that.
Oh,
Never
we
said
never
that.
said.
Never said that. Never
After
said that.
PSG. And then after
This
that,
is-
he loses to some random Premier League team. And it's like,
See,
Does he
Ask
even
him,
know
ask
what's
him, ask
happening
him.
on the pitch?
Arsenal,
Ask him as a
Yeah.
random
Sushil
stranger.
is
I mean,
becoming
there.
a typical rival fan. I've never said that. I did praise
Nobody
him
ever
after
said
the
that.
I'm
TSD game.
exaggerating.
Yeah, you
I'm
are.
exaggerating. But yeah,
I've
you
never
get
said
my
that.
point.
Yeah,
Sushil
You get
but
the
is,
yeah,
Sushil
point.
is
I do
behaving
it.
like the Liverpool fans we don't talk to. You know?
Dude,
Come
I
on, bro.
mean, okay,
We
can I
thought you're
just say
nice.
this? Can
Yeah.
I just say this about Ole?
Hmm.
Someone needs to put their finger on whether he's good enough for the job or not. Because we can't keep, you can't,
The
it's
pause
like,
was so horrible. The finger and the pause. My God. We've become
it's like,
such porn addicts here.
it's
On the
like,
show.
you're in an abusive relationship, and certain days it's like just brilliant, amazing, it's out of this world. And then the other days it's like, why am I being whipped on my ass right now? It's like, that's the level of variation. So someone just needs to decide whether he's good enough or not. Any of you can
So
take a
if
stab
is
at it.
Poch a divorce or a new husband?
He's an affair right now.
Yeah.
Oh, he's
Oh,
definitely an
Flirting on the
affair.
outside. Yeah.
yeah,
I
I
think
think
He's
that
he's
makes
definitely
flirting
an
sense.
with a lot
affair.
of
I think it's a little more
fans.
serious.
That's for
Little
sure.
more.
Nagelsmann is waiting for this affair to be done on the outside.
Yeah, Nagelsmann is the friend that's lying on it. So anyway,
Hmm.
so
Yeah, not just the friend who came with the fancy attire to his home.
yeah,
Yeah.
very
Oh
badly
yeah,
dressed
shit.
best friend.
Oh yeah.
I remember that.
But
What was
yeah,
he
He
thinking?
got beaten up by
moving on.
this Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Yeah.
Yeah, moving
Yeah.
on from that. But yeah, the question you ask about Ole Solskjaer is very pertinent to see. Actually, the thing is, it's very difficult to be a Manchester United fan right now, and it has been so for a good. See, I'll tell you, it's been
Manchester United have
result.
founded
No,
in. Yeah, I think it's going to
it's
start from
been
there now.
no. I won't.
Yeah,
Yeah,
chill.
And then then
shut
then
up.
we are going to hear Kushagra talk about the time when he went to Villa Park to watch Ryan Giggs score that goal.
अरे यार बस yes yes I was there I was lucky enough to be there but yeah moving on so when you talk about Manchester United at least in the last 15 years of the Glazer ownership it's been a very shit ride because we've seen highs but those highs were because of teams that had already been built and especially for foundations that had already been seen already been laid. And you had that success for 8 years of their initial 8 years of their ownership because you
Yeah.
had, in my opinion, and I would challenge anyone if anyone says anything else, the greatest sports manager of all time leading your club. With him, he had his trusted right hand man, David Gill. And in spite of the financial mismanagement that was happening at Manchester United at that point, he was able to manage teams. He was able to get Fabio and Rafael starting in centre mid in Premier League. So yeah, it was
Yeah.
it was absolutely crazy. So he was a genius. There has never been one like him. There will never be one like him. So you were just lucky because you were in a good situation wherein 150 million pounds worth of investment was doubling itself at the rate of knots, and your investment, which is barely anything, is worth over 4 billion pounds today. So that's the best business deal made in history in terms of percentage of growth in 15
Yeah.
years.
And for you
So
guys,
And
for the guys
also
who are
that
watching this,
loan
yeah.
thing. They're
so
also
Old
getting.
Trafford up until 2011 could have been seized by the banks because it was a viable
You
collateral.
know,
And if United,
before you
so
guys
let me
continue,
let me let me
yeah,
finish. Let me finish. Let me
yeah,
finish.
Let
go
him
I'm
ahead.
finish
just
his
building.
rant, let him
No,
finish.
it's
No,
not a
I
rant.
just wanted
It is
It's
for
not
the
a
to,
rant.
viewers who hear it
no,
for the first time.
It's
This is
it's
Not
a
the viewers who
therapy,
hear it for the first
Sushil.
time.
You let him speak.
yeah. Let me speak. Yeah. So because the thing is, so you go from 2011. So yeah, you handle everything else. You keep qualifying for the Champions League till 2014, right? That's
Yeah.
when Moyes fucked up,
Yeah.
and and
Olympiacos.
then everything else happened. Uh, you've never paid your principal debt. You've never paid the principal amount. You've just done debt reservicing. You've kept on paying interest, and the interest payments have ballooned over £1 billion. Yeah.
can I just say something?
Were you
Because I've
raising your hand
heard,
or giving a blessing?
I was raising my hand, not giving my blessing.
Yeah, thanks.
Um, can I just say that I think the facts have been established repeatedly about the Glazer.
I was about to say that.
Yeah,
We've said this
Yeah.
100 times now.
No, no,
Exactly.
yeah.
no, no.
But still,
Kushagra,
Sushil
because
keeps
No.
asking the
yeah,
question.
yeah.
So
No, no,
yeah,
I just
no,
want to
no.
know, like, Ole.
Yes.
Let's skip to Ole.
Sushil.
Yes.
No, I'll add this into that.
Okay, okay, fair enough.
2013
Kushagra,
for 2013
Kushagra is like
possibilities.
Kushagra is like that guy who is trying to justify being in a bad relationship, and you're like the guy who's trying to get rid of that
I am
relationship
not
forever.
justifying anything. So yeah,
He's in
if you
2013 finally. Yeah.
if you saw my reaction to the Everton team, you would know that I was not happy, right? So yeah, when you come to 2013, you lose that manager, everything goes down. It's
Yeah.
absolutely instantly. It's one of the biggest fall from graces in the history of football. Even like literally, you'd have to go search in the annals of history, look for champions who got relegated the next season or something like that. It's that big of a fall considering the financial might of the club when it was left in the state that it was left in 2013. Finishes seventh, finishes fourth, then finishes fifth, then finishes sixth, then
Sixth,
finishes second,
second,
then finishes fifth again. Fifth, it was fifth last,
Yeah.
sixth last year,
sixth,
right?
sixth.
Finishes
Yeah.
sixth again, then finishes third. Every time a new manager comes in, Manchester United fans hope that he will probably be the solution. Moyes, because Ferguson said so, was wrong. Louis Van Gaal, because he had a proven track record. I would still argue he was not backed enough,
Yeah,
and his football was way too boring. Sorry, I
that's
mean
true.
he was building something, but his football was way too boring. So yeah, Jose Mourinho, because well he was the new man on the block because City were getting Pep, you needed to do something,
Yeah.
and
Very reactive one. Yeah.
Yeah.
you did that with Jose, and you undermined a manager. It was one of the most disgraceful sackings I've ever seen. A man wins an FA Cup at 5:30 or 6:30 in the evening, and is told at 8:30 or 9 by Ed Woodward that yeah, tada. Like it's and he has to read in the papers. He has to answer in the press conference, post-match press conference of the FA Cup final,
Yeah.
holding the cup. He's asked about his future. It's ridiculous. I mean, and they've undermined Ole Gunnar Solskjaer right now by what happened with Pochettino 2 weeks back, a week and a half back. I'll come to that. I will
Yeah.
skip Jose Mourinho because well, I
Can
don't
I
want to
come?
talk about
Can
him
I
and
answer
trigger.
Ole? Can I answer Ole?
No, just let me. I've just got last minute of content. Sorry. Yeah. Sorry.
She's
Yeah.
laughing
Sure,
at
sure.
Disney, right?
Yeah.
He's,
So
I mean,
I'll make my point after you
He
guys.
is just thinking dance puppets dance. Fuck
Yeah.
you guys for falling for his shit.
Yeah, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Uh, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer gets the club third. Is not backed in the transfer market. I was one of the people shouting from the rooftop saying, "Please don't get pissed at him because he's backed in the transfer market. Don't turn on him." But the problem is his selections have been pitiful.
yeah.
His treatment of Donny van de Beek has been mysterious to say the least. Has been disgusting, downright. Like you've seen people not performing, and his consistency in picking McTominay is just infuriating. That is what has pissed off a lot of Manchester United fans.
Yeah.
That's why when you mention Pochettino, which again I would implore all our viewers, please go watch how Pochettino plays. Don't just go by the reputation. He plays poorly against big teams. It was a very long time before he beat a significantly big team away from home. Look up his records against City, United, Liverpool, even Arsenal for that matter. It wasn't good.
Solskjaer in 2 years against big teams has done way
Chelsea.
more.
So
Yeah.
yeah, so yeah. I mean, choose your battles. I'm not saying he's a bad manager.
Yeah.
Saying get full information before you start touting someone. Now, Anurag, you can carry on with Ole.
See, one of the things about Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, uh, he started playing a system. At the start of last season, especially, you could see week in week out a different formation on paper. You'd see two defensive midfielders and Fred and Scott McTominay starting with the disgrace of the disgraceful presence of Pereira and Lingard, who were not able to do anything with the ball under their feet. They were they were our number 10s, and still we sort of, with them at number 10 position, we ended up getting third. That's a huge achievement. Number one. See, he had to keep shifting his formations and again and again and again to ensure with the squad that he has, he can do something out of it. Bruno comes in. Now he gets a settled sort of, he gets a vision, he gets an idea that a 4-2-3-1 is going to work brilliantly. And it did. Come on, in the position that we were in, no one really expected United would finish above Chelsea, above Leicester City. But we did. And that was because of good managership. And he did well. He used his resources well back then. I think it was just a matter of fact that Greenwood is still young. He's although you are playing him on the right wing, it looked like he always was getting into the central roles. If you look at United's games in that particular phase when we're winning a lot, we didn't get a lot. I'm sorry, right hand side. You could notice even Greenwood is just trying as much as possible to get into the central roles, to get into goal scoring positions. It was like almost the right side was vacant. It's like मुझे नहीं खेलना है right wing पे. And there was one person. Just ignore all of the transfer. Had they just brought in that one transfer of Jadon Sancho, I think United would have continued the same setup, and things would have been way different. Things would have been way different. I can bet you, because of United not getting the player that they wanted, because of Greenwood also facing so many other issues. God knows why he has been in and out of the squad this season. Because of that, we had to shift to our diamond, which is not easy. Again, now you've played a different system. Diamond
Yep,
is like,
yep.
it's existential crisis for diamond now. It's been a long time since any team sort
It's
of
been a
played
decade,
proper.
yeah.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
properly implemented that system.
What
United
was
fans,
it?
yeah.
What was it?
AC
Was it
Milan, I
Ancelotti?
think.
Yeah, it
AC
was.
Milan.
Hmm.
Was it Ancelotti with AC Milan?
Yeah,
Ancelotti.
that's it.
Ancelotti,
I
AC
really
He
can't
Milan.
remember anyone.
did
And
Ancelotti
Chelsea
not also win a Premier League double double with
with
Chelsea as well?
Chelsea
Yeah, with
with the
Diamond.
Deco, yeah, that's what.
Balak, Lampard,
I
yeah.
think
Yeah.
Pochettino has
Yeah,
also tried it with Spurs for a month or a couple of months, but it didn't work
But the
out.
fact is, it doesn't fit in with the
Yeah.
modern way of
Exactly.
playing football.
And that's my problem, because Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has not been bagged. He's had to always keep tilting and shifting the way he wants his team to play. And yeah, I think
But
I
can I just
definitely agree with Kushak.
interject?
Yeah,
Uh,
I
Yeah,
definitely
yeah,
agree with.
Vijay, go for
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
I
Yeah,
mean,
sorry.
I mean,
Yeah.
so I completely understand your sentiment, and you're kind of looking at it in that, and this is just my opinion, in that
Yeah, yeah.
whole confirmation bias kind of a thing. Like this, if we look at last season's third position, it was a largely fine margin between Leicester, Chelsea, and United,
Yeah.
and
Yeah,
all
very
three
fine. Yeah,
kind of rookie managers, all in the same level. Maybe Brendan Rodgers a
it's
bit
a
more
little
Brendan
ahead.
because,
Yeah,
Rodgers is
You
maybe,
can't call
and he's
Rogers
the guy
a
who's
Rodgers is
not
not
in
a
top
rookie. Yeah.
five, right? I mean, top
yeah.
he's
four.
also the guy with the, yeah.
Yeah,
So
he's the
Premier
guy who
League runners up.
so it could easily
outsmarted
have
Bielsa, dude. How
been.
can you forget that, Vijay?
No, yeah, no. What I meant is, it could easily have not been Solskjaer in the top four. And
Could
would
have
you call
been.
him mediocre at that point?
So
Would he not be good enough? And
Vijay.
also have no, just one like just
Yeah.
another thing, because I think every episode we've talked about this, but since today's therapy, and I'm just trying to bring up this part that if they got Jadon Sancho, do you think that everything United would be rosy
Hmm.
today? I think that's a little myopic, don't you?
I see. Yeah, you want to
I think
answer,
the
Kushak?
mood around the club
बोल लो
changes,
बोल लो
right? With
हाँ
Jadon
तुम दोनों
Sancho.
बोल लो
One thing, the mood around the club would have been entirely different. And if you remember, just before the 6-1 game, Edward
But
Wood
that's
comes out.
intangible, right? Mood around the club. What does that even
It
mean?
does
Like,
matter. It does matter. See, Ed Woodward comes out and announces that the mood around the club has affected players or something like that, and he's actually blamed the fans
He's blamed the
for
fans.
being very
Oh,
negative.
I mean, fuck
I mean,
Ed
that's the
Woodward,
ultimate.
right?
That's the ultimate. It's like an incompetent doctor coming out and shouting at the family that because you guys have not been patient enough, I've killed the guy inside.
I think
Like it's
psychologists can
nonsensical.
blame a family for being shitty to the
It's not
patient.
a psycho. What if it's a brain surgery or something?
Okay, now I'm being
Yeah.
Sushil. Sorry. Carry on.
I don't know. I
See,
don't know.
again,
I think I agree with
I'll just
Vijay.
complete. Yeah, I'll just
Yeah,
complete
go
with
ahead.
what
Go
Kushag
ahead.
was saying. I think, yeah, again, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, where he's lost it, I think is he wants to, bring back that old what Alex Ferguson used to do, push as many academy players as much as he wants. After a point, it gets ridiculous. Now you can't put a player of Van der Beek's quality. I understand you wanted Jack Grealish. Obviously, he was totally out of United's awkath. But he got a
No,
fairly brilliant player. He's still not playing him. That is one where I think the fans are slowly started losing him, and that's where even I am sort of having pushed his agenda so much. I'm sort of starting losing hope that I think he's
yeah,
sleepwalking towards the sack. Yeah,
I think
yeah,
with
Prathamesh, go
Sancho,
ahead.
yeah, with Sancho, I think another thing which I thought that Ole wanted to do last season towards the end, that he wanted to build that mobility up front with
yeah,
Greenwood, Rashford, and Martial. And I think with Sancho, he would have
yeah.
been able to build that.
The most important thing, had Sancho come in, I think the formation would have been pretty much the same. The
Yeah,
style of play would have been pretty much the same, which won us so many games in that after March
Exactly.
period.
And just so
After
you know,
June.
Exactly.
Yeah.
just for
Plus, I feel with
context, yeah.
that, yeah,
Yeah,
with that,
just a
yeah,
last thing that I'll add. Prathamesh, will carry on. I said this in an SOM video, I think. United were ranked 20th in terms of their attack
yeah,
distribution
attack
last
on the
year,
right wing.
and they were 20th amongst 20 teams in terms of their attacking from the right hand side plan. So it would have made a huge
Huge
difference,
difference.
Yep.
complete change of scenery when the
Imagine
ball
being
comes.
worse than Norwich.
Just being like, imagine just being 20th at anything in the Premier League, and you finish
With so
third.
Yeah.
much money. Yeah.
That's
And
bad.
whom did we sign in? We signed it Amad Traore, Amad Diallo.
I mean, forget that. That's
That's
Yeah,
nonsensical.
that's
I was
Yeah,
fine.
talking
that's
about,
a sad thing.
yeah, with Sancho, what I was talking about is Sancho is also the kind of player who could also, within the game, rotate with Bruno as well. He has that,
But
he can come
guys,
centrally and play as well. So I think it would have given
guys,
four
but
players the mobility to play.
that's not the question I asked you though, right? The question was, what's the deal with
No,
Ole?
and
Like
asking
the
about,
fact
I
that
didn't even get to talk about Ole. I didn't even get to talk
yeah,
about Ole.
I know,
Yeah.
but the
So
fact is, like Sancho is, you know, it's a hypothetical now,
Yeah.
or it may
but
become
do
a
you
reality
think
in the future.
my
But the
answer?
fact of the matter is, Ole is the manager now,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah,
And Ole is the reality of the club. Sancho is not. So,
Yeah. Totally.
yeah. See,
let's not. Yeah, go
my
ahead,
answer
Prathamesh. Sorry.
begins my answer begins with the question to you itself. Do you think Jurgen Klopp would have won the Premier League with the likes of Benteke playing at centre
No, he
forward?
won't. No, he won't
Do
have.
you think Jurgen Klopp could win the Premier League playing Dan James at right wing?
Uh,
Mm, probably not. No.
Do you
Probably
think
not.
that
You need not be probably. It's not.
Yeah.
exactly? So, you need to have the quality of players to compete in the first place. Pep Guardiola had Gael Clichy and Pablo Zabaleta in his first
Guardiola को तो
season.
बात ही ना करो. Fraudiola.
Exactly.
Like, I'm not even
मतलब,
talking about that guy. Chalo.
he had two really good fullbacks, Premier League winning fullbacks. Didn't like them in his system, cut them out. Mendy, Walker. Mendy Walker में से Mendy injured रहता है. Played
He got
Zinchenko
in
at left
Cancelo.
wing. Yeah. Then he got in Cancelo.
Who's the
Now
right
he
back?
at centre back he got in Laporte,
But
Ake, Ruben Diaz. I don't know who
but
else he could
guys,
sign
he
possibly.
won the
$700.
Premier League, right? At the end of the day,
He
that's what
won the Premier
matters.
League. He won the Premier League because he got the players. He got players like Bernardo Silva for
But if I
45.
look at
Bernardo
how
Silva.
much Man City has spent versus how much United has spent over the last 3-4 seasons,
United have made
isn't
shitty
it close?
decisions, dude. Shitty decisions. Spending 70 million on Romelu Lukaku. Spending 80 million on
Hmm.
Paul Pogba, which I thought at that time was a good transfer.
Why
I'm not
is
saying no.
Romelu Lukaku bad? I mean, he played
I
bad for
mean,
you,
he
but
is
he's
pretty
doing
good
really
now
well.
also.
Yeah, he
Yeah,
was a
he's
good
playing pretty
player.
well.
But
So
do you think
he's very good in a slow league, and that's really
He's
what
also
is.
one of the best Premier League strikers of all time.
He was.
Come on,
So that
guys.
I'll not diss Romelu Lukaku. I won't say his signing was a bad one
Yeah,
either,
yeah, he
because
wasn't
I'm
at
so
saying
that point,
bad.
no,
is
no,
he
okay,
the
okay.
player that Jose really wanted? Is he the
So
Who
player
gives
that
a
Jose
fuck
really
what
He
Jose
did.
wants?
He did.
Here's
I
the
think
problem.
Alvaro. He
Here's the
wanted him
problem.
ahead of Alvaro Morata. He
You
did.
know,
Jose did
you
want
No,
him.
no, but
know,
that's not the point, right?
Yeah.
That is not the point. The point is, I don't consider Romelu Lukaku as one of the basic signings, but a
lot of other signings, right?
lot of other signings have been mindless
I mean,
signings.
you've spent 80 million on Harry Maguire. The guy
Like
basically what he does is he heads the ball.
no, my point is 18. Forget that. Forget heading the ball. The point is, you. So thing is, you got
Vijay, we're coming
you.
next to Chelsea, huh?
Yeah,
This is the last.
yeah.
This is ending. There's no point. See, I'll just round it up on Ole Solskjaer. His job is perennially in danger now, Sushil.
Yep,
If you're
totally.
asking me that, that's what I understand and feel.
Hmm.
His job is perennially in danger. He's hanging by a thread. A bad result, if Pochettino talks come up. If Pochettino gets signed to another club, Nagelsmann की talks आ जाएंगी. Agar if he goes to he commits himself more to RB Leipzig, there'll be a third manager whose talks will come up.
Allegri.
It could be a legacy.
Just a small thing
The,
about RB Leipzig. Apparently, Upamecano is being
going to
linked with
Bayern,
Bayern
yeah.
Munich, so I think that's
Yeah.
And
done.
when a
I'm
player
already
gets
Upamecano was
linked to
never.
Bayern
done.
Munich, when
Please
a
tell
player
me.
gets linked to
Please
Bayern
tell
Munich,
me.
he's gone.
Yeah,
Yeah.
please tell me which
Player wouldn't want to.
semi-intelligent individual would want to go to Manchester United. I'm not
Yeah.
even talking about anyone else. Like, why would you go if you got offers from PSG, Bayern Munich, Real Madrid, Barcelona, whosoever?
Jadon
Man
Sancho
You
would
can
City,
win the league
go.
every
Man
year.
City,
You can
Liverpool,
challenge for the Champions League every other
Liverpool
year.
could buy Upamecano in January. What's stopping them? Really, nothing is. They could sell off Wijnaldum, to Barca for a cut price. 10, 20 million and offset that with another 40 million and just put in a bid for Upamecano and get him. Why would
You know, I totally
So, okay,
understand why a lot of let's just
forget.
last point. I totally understand why a lot of other club fan bases totally hate on Manchester United fan base because
No,
it's
no,
divided.
I don't hate on it
No,
because
not you.
it's really
I just said.
baffling.
It just about a few people. See, now there have been a lot of people on social media who have been trying to defend themselves or just satisfy themselves, and in a way, uh, uh, what do you say, vindicate Woodward's decision to not pay that 108 for Jadon Sancho by proving a fact that in the last 2 months he's not played well. That is the sort of fan base we belong to. I know these are the people who keep complaining about, well, why are you even looking at championship players? All of them are shit. And when West Ham sign side Benrahma, they'll come on and they'll come out and lash out at the club. There are so many amazing talents in the championship. You don't look at them. The scouting has gone for a toss. When people are scouted, you say it's yaar farzi league se leke aaye. When people are not making a big transfer, you try to look for a reason to prove that he wasn't worth it.
I think
It's we ride a different wave.
fans,
We ride a different wave.
honestly, fans' opinion should be the last to be considered.
Thing to
I'm
be
being
considered,
honest
yeah.
about this
I think that
because
should be
most
the
of,
tagline of the
yeah,
show.
like 80% of football
Fan,
fans are brain dead. I'm not even
absolutely.
kidding.
Yeah. So
80% of football fans are brain dead.
Yeah, they ride the wave of the
Most
emotion of
it's
that point.
very
Yeah,
50%
reactionary.
of 50% of them are from a Russian troll farm for sure. Like they just need work when there are no US elections going on, and they just like
I love
let's try.
Abrahamovich, by the way.
Yeah, we are
oh
coming to you. We are coming to
yeah, what a
But
segue,
just
what a
yeah,
segue.
let's